But this is Men and Motors, and we are of course talking about cars. Take this, the Volkswagen Polo, a small car but trying to be bigger all of the time. Do you remember that theory that men's cars are a replacement for their... Well, it's absolutely true. When did you ever hear of a man saying, do you want to get in my Micra? It's really small. Yeah. This car is taller, it's wider, and it's longer than its predecessor. Yet, if you count the number of cylinders under the bonnet, it's smaller. But inside, it's cavernous. Confused? You will be. This is the 1.2 litre 3-cylinder SE. 3 cylinders, I hear you cry? Yes, that's right. It's to improve efficiency and get past the latest European emission tests, and lower the front weight of the car, and cheaper maintenance, apparently. Very little has changed on this car from its hugely successful predecessor. They've put Lupo lights on the front, why I'm not sure, it makes it look like a Lupo, and they've changed the rear light clusters. The main change, however, is the platform. They've used the brilliant chassis from the Skoda Fabia and plunked a Polo on top of it, and hoped that some of that car's dynamic handling attributes rub off on the Polo. Well, that's a nice idea in theory, but that's a bit like giving me Denise Lewis's leotard and hope that I can run, skip and jump like her. Oh, and throw. Now, all of the exterior styling is aimed at convincing you that this is a small, compact, nimble, sporty, nifty car. But inside, it's huge, voluminous, capacious, solid, and just a little bit dull. I am, of course, exaggerating slightly, but the space in this cabin is impressive. You could easily get 4 of me in here, which is more than can be said for several rooms in my house. The comfort is good, the seats are firm and practical. They are grey and dull, but I'd rather that than some wacky fabric designed to appeal to the ladies. Standard equipment on this, the SE, is very good. Electric windows and mirrors, remote central locking and air conditioning. Added extras on this car include a set of alloys, a multi-CD player and an electric sunroof, which irritates me because it does detract from the rear headroom, which otherwise is very, very good, as you can see. Oh, it looks well. Let's see if it drives well. This car handles, I think, very, very well indeed. It's lighter at the front because of that 3-cylinder all-new alloy engine. So it means that it won't understeer unless you're driving like an absolute hooligan. The brakes on this Polo are easily one of its best features. They're ABS as standard with electronic brake distribution, and it means that when you put your foot down on the brake, it will brake progressively and safely without those alarm bells ringing. Yesterday with my girlfriend, I braked hard and normally she'd go, "Oh, Brendan, oh," but she didn't, she carried on. So, probably not great actually. Performance-wise, this car is not going to set your pulse racing. It'll go from 0 to 60 in about 14.5 seconds. It'll generate about 65 brake horsepower, and I'm afraid it runs out of puff somewhere around 97 miles per hour. But in its class, that's reasonable. And the handling in its class is very good. It's got that Volkswagen solid feel about the chassis. You really do feel like you're in a bigger car. So drive it up to its 6,000 limiter and you really do get lots of performance. Mid-range it's okay, although you do get the feeling that you could on a country lane pull out and overtake the truck in front of you. But if you're going to do that, plan ahead, because you might get into one of those embarrassing situations where you pull out and then have to brake as the truck accelerates up the hill and you just pull quietly in behind. You know what I'm talking about. As the girl in the commercial says, size does matter. And for super minis, that's all that matters. A small car that's nippy and efficient and yet feels like a bigger, solid car. A bit like a girl I once knew. Small on the outside, big on the inside. And by that I mean she had a big appetite.